Are you the Hugh Hefner of LSD?
Now that is the dumbest question. I want to. Who got the award? Who's got the award? I mean, I want to congratulate you. I have been interviewed thousands of times, and I've met the greatest professional, crazed interviewers, and you're right up there with.
He's the best. He's the best.
He's the Joe Montana, right? Yeah.
I'm Nardwuar, the human serviette, Timothy Leary.
You are? You sure? I'm not going to argue with that.
Is going through life without a psychedelic experience like going throughout life without a sexual experience?
Well, I'd hate to have either way of life. People ask me how many times have I taken LSD. Now, I've been experimenting with the brain for like 40 years, you know. I say, it's like how many times have I made love? I don't count, like Wilt Chamberlain, the basketball player. But there's one thing I know, not enough. Not enough.
When was the last time you were busted?
Oh, about 7 or 8 years ago.
Did you have any trouble at the border here coming into Canada?
I had an enormous amount of bureaucratic red tape.
I heard about that.
Enormous, cost me several $1,000s to get lawyers and so forth.
Did you really meet Charles Manson in prison, Timothy Leary? And did he really supply you with some hallucinogenics, i.e. marijuana?
No, I was in the same cell next to Manson for one night. Legends have developed about that. He did not give me any drugs. I would never take any drug from anyone who does not have the qualities in their eye that I want from that drug. So I never take drugs from Manson. This Tim's tips to the young, okay? Don't get drugs from Manson.
Okay.
How about Elvis?
What about him?
Did you ever meet Elvis, Gilligan, or Frank Sinatra?
I've met Frank Sinatra, who is a very suave and courteous mafioso.
Bill Gates?
Yes, I know Bill quite well. No.
How about Brian Wilson? Would he be the same today if he didn't do LSD in the 60s?
Be different for him, huh?
Do you think it made a difference on his life, on Brian Wilson's life?
Well, it ended it.
How come?
I know. Are we talking about the same thing? You're kind of getting off here.
Why is Brian Wilson the way he is today, and why are you the way you are today?
I thought you meant the one from the Rolling Stones, from the...
No, not Brian Jones.
No, Brian Jones.
No, Brian Wilson as in, fun.
Well, I'm a kindly man. I try to say nothing negative about anyone, but I've always considered Brian Wilson to be a pathetic moron. I mean, it's not his fault. The DNA, they have to have morons out there, I don't think that he's a child molester or anything evil, but he's just plain, his elevator doesn't reach top floors there, so.
Speaking about childs, are you related to Winona Ryder or Uma Thurman at all?
Last night, I had the pleasure of being at Winona Ryder's home in Beverly Hills, where we watched on her big screen her winning the award for the Best Supporting Actress in Days of Innocence. Her young brother, was with her, and I was sitting next to David Furman, the rock and roller from what's it from?
That's Dave Pirner, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm very, very close to Winona. I think she's a brilliant person. Winona Thurman's mother was my wife. We first met. I was on my honeymoon with Uma Thurman's mother when I met you in Calcutta. Remember the tall blonde woman?
Yes.
Yeah. That's Uma Thurman. She's the mother of a famous actress now. No?
I remember her.
Yeah, beautiful.
Did JFK, Timothy Leary, ever do acid?
I don't know. They say he did.
But you dropped with Marilyn Monroe, didn't you?
No comment. I don't, after all, we have to keep certain.
You don't drop and tell.
Have you ever made money off your work?
I've ended up every month of my life in the hole. I've lived basically, you can't believe, the debts I have. I basically live on the largest and compassion of my friends. I work my ass off, but I knew that it's the job of a philosopher, particularly a Socratic philosopher who teaches young people, corrupts their minds by telling them to think for themselves. It's a hard job. Someone has to do it, badly paid, can be dangerous to your health.
Is there a patent for acid? Is somebody actually making money off it?
I don't know much about details. I don't think they're making much money, but I'm not into chemistry and finance.
Well, how does it make you feel that more young people are doing acid today than ever before?
Well, I don't think around at night, tossing and turning on the pillow. Anyway, there are a million more things happening. And again, what does that mean, acid? Because the government's policy of restriction and the government does not regulate or help you know what acid is. Nobody knows what acid is. My advice is that do not go out and get acid from someone that walks up to you with a trench coat in a bar and says, hey, here's some acid. Like anything else that's precious in life, you should know what you're doing. And if you're going to share this experience, do it with someone who shares your spiritual ambitions. And when you look in their eye, they have that same holiness that you're looking for. But,
do you still have a mind-blowing experience once a week?
I'm having one right now. I want to tell you.
I think half the room is having
But you've
one
met
right
Nardwuar now.
Being locked up in a cell with him is
Are you on any drugs right now, Timothy Leary?
Coca-Cola.
No, coffee.
Is Prozac the legal LSD of the 90s?
Where do you get these cards? You have committees of monkeys that type them out and things like that. I'm not an expert on legal drugs. Basically, I don't like legal drugs. Just think of it. If the government legalizes a drug, there's got to be something wrong with it. Think about it. Alcohol, things like that.
Yeah.
Didn't you design some rides for Disneyland?
But go back to Prozac here. I'm fascinated that they are learning more about the brain, because the brain is a series of 100 billion computers, and we're learning how to punch up and boot up and format. And yes, I think it's wonderful, if true, that a person who is terribly depressed, not to go to a doctor. I don't think you should have to go to a doctor. You should be able to go to a committee of ministers or your friends and so forth. And with the help of your friends, yes, I think it's wonderful that there are these chemicals that obviously are designed by DNA to make the brain react this way. So basically, although I'm not giving product endorsements about Prozac, I think in general the idea is good. But of course the doctors are now running around and making billions off it, naturally, and the pharmaceutical thing. I think that any psychoactive, psychedelic, psychological drug should not be sold. It's like selling pardons. The priests used to do that, selling the sacraments. I think that they should be regulated by society. Certainly young people shouldn't take them. But the very idea of selling psychoactive drugs, it's worse than prostitution in a sense. I haven't thought this quite through, so...
Sounds good so far.
Be gentle with me. Listen, let's take a break here for a minute, and I'll ask you some questions, huh?
Okay, sure.
How long can you stay quiet?
How long do you want me to stay quiet? Didn't you design some rides for Disneyland? No, weren't you once called upon to consult for that at all, Timothy Leary?
No, it would never happen. What's this bullshit about anti-Christ, anti-God, devil? There's no such thing as anti-Timothy Leary. You're betraying a feudal, if not worse, theology here. The anti-Timothy Leary. I'll get him and I'll put him on a fucking cross and I'll put a sword through his side, and I will make him a crown of thorns, baby. Yeah, he's my anti.